First player, I love it, is Will Fuller. And this is somebody I love, yet we haven't really talked about much on my podcast. And I'm so excited for you to kind of go into why you love him and see if I can add anything onto it. What do you like about Will Fuller here in 2019?
It's hard not to like the guy. He's still being drafted as this, like, in the early wide receiver 30 range. And all the guy does when he's on the field with a healthy offense is work as a borderline wide receiver 1. I mean, look, we've had 11 games over the last 2 years where Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, and Fuller have been healthy. During that time, Fuller's averaged 17.2 points per reception per game, which would have been good for the wide receiver 13 last year. And look, he's a boomer bust guy, but he's not this John Brown, Deshaun Jackson type that you like is going to give you nothing most weeks. I think he's more like Brandon Cooks than we give him credit for, because he's finished as a top 10 fantasy wide receiver in 6 of those 11 games. I mean, the ceiling is stupid high, and he consistently gets there. So I think, you watch him, he's got the speed, he's good on contested catches and all that, but I think the true thing that just shows how good Will Fuller is what happens to Texans offense when he's not on the field. I mean, Watson's average yards per attempt go from 9.03 to 7.2 once Fuller's off the field. And even Hopkins, I mean, think about it. When defenses are able to focus even more attention on Nuke, I mean, it's shown up in the stat sheet. He has 12 touchdowns in 11 games with Fuller. Also has 12 touchdowns without Fuller, but it's come in 21 games. So really hasn't been the same kind of scoring beast.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the duds, you mentioned 6 out of 10 or 11 have been top 10. And there's really only been 2 duds out of those 11. Some of the others, 12, 14, 15 points. So as you mentioned, it's not like John Brown where it's either like 1 or 0, which is fantastic with him. I know some people worry about Kiki Cutie and how that can impact him, but let's see Kiki Cutie stay on the field too, just like Fuller. He's got his own injury concerns as well. I love, one of the strategies I find myself falling into a lot right now is AJ Green goes in round 6 or so, and Fuller's right there in round 7. Maybe I only get 4 or 5 games out of Fuller, but if that's the bridge I need to then get to AJ Green, I love it. So I'm all with you. I know the injury risk. There's no denying it, but nobody can separate. No one can blaze down the field like this guy. And you mentioned Deshaun Watson too. In that rookie season when they had Fuller, when he was fully healthy, Watson, they averaged 40.5 points per game. I mean, that was almost a touchdown more than the Chiefs last year. 56 touchdown pace for Watson. Fuller himself was on like a 28 touchdown pace or something, saying obviously he's never going to hit that. But still, it's just that whole offense could be so juicy if and when he stays healthy. So I pray for at least 10 games out of him. Maybe you won't get him, but the games you have, I love it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, man. And people were about Kiki Kuti a little bit, but think about these targets. Like Fuller is their field stretcher, and he's with a quarterback that is incredible at evading pass rushers and just really, like, he takes a lot of sacks. That's because he holds the ball so long. He's willing to take those shots downfield, which is just the perfect quarterback for Fuller. And obviously we've seen that whenever they're on the field together. So if you are going to take a chance with some of these, quote unquote injury prone guys, make sure they're like straight ballers. And that's exactly what Fuller is.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point too. How many times have we seen Watson buy that 1 extra second, 2 extra seconds? And when you have 4.3 or whatever the speed is with Fuller, you don't need much more than 1 second to get completely behind the defense.
They're both so good.
It's unbelievable. And another